Andi Chrisman is a mental health advocate, better known as the BPD Warrior, a Facebook page she started in 2012. After being diagnosed, she found support and acceptance via social media and now wants to help others walking along the path that she once walked alone. The day Andi dyed her hair purple, she evolved into the BPD Warrior. Andi started working with NAMI Central Virginia and NAMI Virginia in 2015. Andi lives near Richmond, Virginia with her loving and supportive fiance, Eddie. They are proud parents to a cat properly named Gabby, who reminds them on a daily basis of just how loud he is. Welcome, Andi.
Hi guys, my name is Andi Chrisman, aka the BPD Warrior, and you can look me up on Facebook if you'd like to follow my page. I'm really glad to see everyone out here for this year's virtual walk. I know times are different, but we still appreciate the support, and Emotions Matter is definitely doing a lot of work for BPD. I've been invited here today to talk to you guys about why me being diagnosed with BPD was one of the best things that ever happened in my life. But to be able to share that, I have to step back first. I started struggling with my mental health when I was in 9th grade. This would be back in 99. And I looked for help, but I didn't get any. I was actually being cyberbullied by a group of girls who went to my school. They would leave anonymous messages on my page saying things like, "I wish you'd just kill yourself, you're not really depressed, you're just making it up for attention, and if you killed yourself, no one would miss you anyway." And so and I also went to multiple adults and tried to get help, and all of them were just like, "Oh yeah, this is just you being a teenager," sort of stuff. So I was really invalidated by anyone I talked to about my mental illness, and really didn't talk about my mental health at all for years, almost a decade. Because in 2011, I almost died from a suicide attempt. My liver completely failed. I was being transferred to a different hospital for a liver transplant, but by some sort of miracle, my liver came back on, because livers can regenerate their cells and everything, but I did not end up needing the transplant. But while all this was going on, my sister had been posting on Facebook, it was back in 2011, and had been posting on Facebook kind of updating people of what was going on with me. I was mortified. I couldn't believe she would tell everyone that I tried to kill myself, and that I had to deal with depression, and I had mental health problems. Obviously, my previous experience made it quite clear that I shouldn't talk about my mental health. But surprisingly, I wasn't being hurt by it. People were coming out of the woodwork and telling me, "Oh, my mom has bipolar disorder," or "I deal with depression and anxiety," and it was like I wasn't totally doing it alone anymore. And that made a really big difference to me. My sister, her classmates, because she was still in high school, and her classmates even made cards for me. One student in particular left his phone number and said if I ever needed to talk. I didn't take him up on that, because I'm almost a decade older than my sister and her classmates. But it was still really, really sweet and really nice. Another big part of my recovery involves DBT. DBT really helped me go from someone who was literally playing World of Warcraft in my parents' basement to someone that was out and working and talking to people. So both of those were a big thing for my acceptance of my disorder and for me getting better through it and working on it. But the stigma that had held me prisoner for most of my life was finally no longer holding me back, and I'm a force to be reckoned with. I like to do public speaking. I've actually really missed it in this time of Corona, but I work with NAMI and other nonprofits here in Richmond, Virginia, which is where I am, and I really love and really miss doing public speaking. But even when it's not a time of pandemic, I've had physical health problems, so then I would just make videos like this. So this is a great coping skill for me. But it ended up being that I was diagnosed in 2012, a year after I first had my suicide attempt. And it really gave me so much more purpose in my life. I first started expressing myself through groups, and then I became an admin, and then I made my own page, and then about 5 years ago I started doing the public speaking in our local hospitals, crisis intervention training for EMS workers and police officers, as well as like nursing schools and a few other, even a high school I spoke at one time. And that's given me so much purpose in my life that I didn't really have before. I used to work in advertising. I got my degree in digital media, graphic and web design. I was working in advertising up until my suicide attempt, and that previous year had been really hard. And to my surprise, I actually become an inspiration to people. I'll get messages from people when they're like from high school, and they'll be like, I don't want to tell anyone, but I have a mental illness, and I love reading your posts and stuff like that. And so that stigma and my diagnosis that cursed my life for so long has actually given me a lot of purpose and a reason to keep pushing on and keep fighting. I am disabled because of my diagnosis, but I do a lot of the speaking speeches we do with NAMI here in Central Virginia. We're not in a pandemic. So I'm sorry. One thing I do like to say is that I try to help other people walk the path that I had to walk alone. Because when I was diagnosed with BPD, I had like no help. No one even, I never even heard of it except for the time I read Girl Interrupted. And it was just a very new thing, and I felt totally alone. And now I like to try to help other people who are diagnosed with BPD get help without feeling like they're having to make this path that no one has walked before all alone. So one of my favorite quotes, I always end my speeches with this quote. I'm not going to end it yet, but it's, I want to inspire. I want someone to say, because of me, I didn't give up. Author unknown. And that quote really just encapsulates how I feel. I want to help people, and that's more important to me than making money or whatever. And formerly working in advertising, which is such a it's a different industry completely. Sometimes can be a little disheartening. But now working as a public speaker, a blogger, YouTuber sort of stuff with BPD, I feel like I have so much more purpose in my life and reasons to keep going. Thank you, everyone, for supporting Emotions Matter and creating a wonderful, group community of warriors. Because I think everyone with mental health and with mental health issues is a warrior. So thank you guys, and keep persisting in spite of hardship, and stay safe in this time we're living in, and keep working towards recovery. Thanks, guys. Andi, BPD Warrior, signing out. Take care.